It was a quiet autumn afternoon in Seoul, 2024. Jason, an American man, was about to have his very first meal with the family of his Korean girlfriend, Mina. The dinner began with a hint of nervousness, but soon, everyone was smiling and chatting. Then, as Jason politely offered a glass of water to Mina's mother, he said, "Sumi, would you like some more water?" In that instant, the air in the room felt like it dropped 5 degrees. Her chopsticks froze midair. Mina's face stiffened. Her father choked on his water, and the youngest sibling lowered their head in silence. Jason had only meant to be polite. But in Korea, calling your girlfriend's mom by her first name, that wasn't just a mistake. It was an incident. After the meal, Mina quietly pulled Jason outside. She spoke in a low voice. "You know, when you called my mom by her name, that could have gone really wrong." Jason looked confused. "Why? What's the big deal?" In the US, we call adults by their names all the time. And he was right. From an American perspective, he had been polite. But in Korean society, that very act can be seen as deeply disrespectful. Later that evening, Mina's mom quietly said just one thing to her daughter. "I understand he's a foreigner, but I'm still not used to being called by my name like that." It was a small moment, but one that perfectly captured the cultural gap between Koreans and foreigners. In Korea, a name isn't just a way to identify someone. The way you address a person reflects the relationship between you and them. Their age, their status, your closeness, and even your attitude. Honorifics in Korea are more than just polite language. They are respect. They are manners. Sometimes, they even carry emotion. Calling someone by the wrong title can feel like ignoring their place in society, misunderstanding the relationship, or even hurting their feelings. In Korean culture, what matters most isn't the name, it's the relationship. That's why the way people address each other changes depending on context. Within the family, you say
엄마, 아빠, 오빠, 언니, 누나, 형.
At work, people use job titles like
부장님, 과장님,
for strangers. You say things like
아저씨, 아주머니, 선생님,
even at restaurants. It's common to call the staff
이모, 사장님, 선생님.
even if that's not their actual job title. Why? Because using these titles shows respect. It's a way of raising up the other person. Of course, between close friends, Koreans do call each other by name, just like in Western cultures. But in most situations, titles come first, and they matter a lot. Many foreigners ask, "Can't I just use their name?" If the other person says it's okay, why should I worry? Is honorific language really that important? And to be fair, in many English-speaking cultures, honorifics and hierarchical titles don't carry the same weight. You call your boss by their first name. You call your parents by their first names in some families. And politeness is shown more through tone and indirect language, rather than formal speech. But Korea is different. Korea was shaped by centuries of Confucian values, a culture that emphasized social hierarchy, respect for elders, and clearly defined roles. At the center of all that, titles and honorific speech. During the Joseon dynasty, family order was everything. And that order was expressed through language. Using the wrong title didn't just sound odd. It disrupted the whole social fabric. And even today, calling someone by the wrong honorific can strain relationships, or even destroy them. So why was it such a big deal when Jason called Mina's mom by her first name? In Korean culture, marriage means you don't just marry the person. You marry into their family, and you address them accordingly. Here's how it works.
장모님, 시어머니, 장인어른, 시아버지.
And here's the key. You never call them by their first name. Doing so can imply that you don't see them as part of your own family, that you're drawing a line, keeping emotional distance. So when Jason called her Sumi, what his mother-in-law may have heard was, "I don't really see you as my family." Even if he didn't mean it, his words carried a cultural message, one that hit harder than he realized. In recent years, younger generations in Korea have started to break away from traditional titles. At work, There's a growing no titles movement, where job ranks matter less. In romantic relationships, couples often mix formal and informal speech. On social media, people just use real names or nicknames without any terms of respect. But in real life, traditional titles still carry a lot of weight, especially in spaces like marriage, family, and the workplace, where hierarchy still matters. In those situations, the way you address someone isn't just words. It's the clearest signal of respect, relationship, and boundaries. After that dinner, Jason offered a sincere apology to Mina's mom. And the next time they met, he said with a smile, "Jongmonim, the side dishes are amazing today. Did you make them yourself?" For the first time, she smiled gently and replied, "Yes, I made them especially for you today." From that moment on, Jason grew more comfortable saying, "Jongmonim," and with that one word, he felt something shift, a warm, genuine connection, as if he had finally become part of the family.